Isim al-fa'il, the doer. We saw this in lesson 5. Remember? Katib, ضابط, طالب, those guys. And in chapter 5, you learned how to form an isim fa'il, and you've practiced it a bit in the chart from exercise 4. And you know that ism al-fa'il usually functions as an adjective and sometimes as a noun in fusha. In amiyya, it functions often as a present tense verb. But don't worry, we're not talking about amiyya in this video. And when you did that chart in exercise 4, you also learned the sister pattern of ism al-maf'ul, which is the passive. So remember our active, muallim, the teacher with a kasra, muallim, versus someone who has been educated. It has been done to him. Huwa muta'allim. He is educated thanks to the efforts of the muallim, the teacher. These two are from two different ozan, but I just thought it was a nice parallel and a nice image, so here it is. Anyway, ism al-fa'il, it describes the doer, the writer, the reader, the mother. It's the state that you will be in once the action has taken place. Ism al-maf'ul, on the other hand, describes the passive, that which has had something done to it. The food has been cooked. It is now cooked. The food has been prepared. The cake has been baked. The paper has been written in the upper left-hand corner. Those are all passive. From this chapter, the word for shared, from the verb yashtarak. The girls. There must be at least 3 of them, remember, to form a plural. In Arabic, a dual does not constitute as a plural. And they, the girls, are the mushtarikat. The girls are the sharers. That's the ism al-fa'il. And what are they sharing? They're sharing the room. The room is the ism maf'ul. The action is being done to it. So, ghurfa mushtaraka. Mushtaraka is shared. Another example. Mu'lin, the announcer, the advertiser, the person giving the announcement. That is a ism fa'il, the name or the noun of the person doing the action, the doer. Versus mu'lan, that's the advertisement, the announcement, that which has been announced by the mu'lan. The only difference between these two is the fatha on the lam for the ism al-maf'ul and the kasra on the lam for the ism fa'il. That's it. That's the only difference. Besides, of course, the meaning. Another thing to note about ism al-fa'il and ism al-maf'ul is that they follow all the agreement and i'rab rules for adjectives. That means they take the fatha, dhamma, kasra, waw noon, ya noon, and all the rules we've talked about for those as case endings. And they must agree with the noun which they describe in terms of plurality, singularity, and case. So if they describe a human noun, they take the human plurals. Ya noon, waw noon, alif ta if it's feminine, and in dialect they only take the ya noon for human plurals. So we already looked at mushtarik, but let's look at it again. It can mean participants or shared in. So mushtarikin, human plural, ism al-fa'il, and depending on where it comes in the sentence, it could also be mushtarikun. So either one of these, they're both human plurals. Same thing goes for ism al-maf'ul. Mushtarakin or mushtarakun, if they had the action done to them. Same thing. Mushtarakin, mushtarakun, same thing. It all depends on what role they play in the sentence that they're in. So back to the difference between ism al-fa'il and ism al-maf'ul. Just change the kasra and it's an ism al-fa'il. Change it to a fatha and it's ism maf'ul. Like with the example of the girls sharing the room, mushtarikat. Another example of a human feminine plural is mu'minat. Mu'minat is a word that you'll come across a lot in religious texts, especially in the Quran, because usually when the Quran is addressing the believers, it will start the sentence with أيها المؤمنين والمؤمنات. Now, this means the believers, and they're both human plurals. The difference is mu'minin is encompassing all of the male believers, and mu'minat is encompassing all of the female believers. Now, in Arabic, you could just say mu'minin, and that would include men and women. But mu'minat never includes men. It just means all the female believers. So the reason the Quran feels the need to write mu'minin wa mu'minat instead of just mu'minin is because it really wants to drive home the idea that this is directed to all of the male believers and all of the female believers.